Hey Cozy Crew, it's Jessica with Stay Cozy Creative Co. And today I'm going to show you in detail how to make this center circle specifically of my sunflower granny square pattern. So I've had people reach out saying that they struggle with this part of the circle. And so even though I have a video tutorial and a PDF that shows step by step, I'm going to go even slower today to show you how to get started here in the center and how to make sure that you're doing it correctly. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can do so now. I like to come out with new tutorials, just share what I'm working on and creative tips and inspiration to help you on your own creative journey. And I usually focus on hand knitting and hand crochet, but sometimes dabble in some other projects as well. So thanks for being here and let's get started. All right, so all you're going to need is your chenille yarn for the color that you're going to use in the center here. I sell this on my website at staycozyco.com, but you can often find it in local craft stores as well. And I've even bought some at Walmart. You can find it online. But of course, I love the kind that I sell, and you can support my small business by buying yarn from me. So I'm going to get started and show you how to do this center. So I'm going to go slow. If you've not done hand crochet before, I just would encourage you to not be too hard on yourself because it can take a little bit of time to get the hang of it. But we're going to start with something called a slip knot. And so we're going to take the tail of our yarn and lay it across our hand. And then this is our working yarn, which is attached to our skein or our ball of yarn. And we're going to wrap this around our hand, make a little X, and then tuck this through the back side here. And then if you did it right, when you pull on that tail, it's going to tighten up your knot right here. And if you pull on this side, then it will change the sizing when you pull on that working yarn. So we want our loops to be about big enough for 2 fingers to fit through. And if you do smaller, then that can sometimes cause your circle to be too tight and then to pull everything in on itself. So you really don't want to be getting too much smaller, at least in the way that I made my pattern, because it'll just be too tight. So here's our slip knot. And then now we're going to chain 2. And so making a chain just means reaching into this loop, pulling your working yarn through so that you make another loop. So there's 1, and then there's 2. So I find that people are usually able to follow that step pretty well, but then this next one is where they get a little confused. So to make the circle, we're going to fold this 3rd loop here, and we're going to connect it to this 1st loop here. So this was our slip knot that we made. And so I'm going to fold this over, reach through this one, and then reach into that 1st loop that I made. So you're basically just folding that chain in half. Then we're going to take our working yarn, grab that, and pull it through both of those loops so that you have a new loop on this side. And then we're going to make a slip stitch here, which just means pulling a loop through there. So there's our slip stitch, and that connects those together, so holds that chain folded in half. And then we're going to chain 2. So in the same way that we did the other ones, we're going to do 1 and then 2. So now this is technically the back side of your project, so where your working yarn is coming out. So you want to make sure that we're at the front side of your project where you can more easily see these loops that you've made. So we have our project laying on the correct way facing us where we can see these loops. So I'm going to put my fingers through the top part of this last loop here. And then this is the loop down here where I know if I go on the back side of that, I'm in the center. And so there's that extra strand of yarn here from our working yarn that we pulled up to connect both sides of our chain. So it doesn't really matter if you go on the left side or the right side of it, but just for simplicity, we're going to say find this loop here, go on the back side of that so you know you're in the center. And don't worry about this loop here because that sometimes happens where it just kind of sticks out a little bit. Don't worry about it. We're going to cover it up as we do this next part. And so I'm going to start with a double crochet. And so that means that I have this loop on my hand and I'm going to do one loop around. I'm going to find that center here, go in there, and I'm going to take my working yarn and make sure it's on the left side of that knot. So then I'm going to pull it around and grab it with my fingers back here, pull that loop up and through, and now I should have 3 strands on my fingers. And then I'm going to grab my working yarn and pull it through the first 2 strands, putting that new loop on my hand, and then pulling through the last 2 strands. So that was my double crochet stitch. And so this first chain that we did is technically our first double crochet, and then this would be our second, and you can see I started it on that left side of the knot. And then now we have 6 more that we need to do in this pattern because we want a total of 8. So that chain is the first one, and then this was our second one. So now we're just going to keep working into that same hole that we made in the center. And you just kind of want to work like you are making a clock, or I guess counterclockwise, all the way around. So you don't want all your stitches to just be on one side of this circle here. You want them to evenly space all the way around. And that can take some practice to get used to it, but that's kind of our goal. So now I'm going to do another double crochet stitch. So I have my first loop on my fingers. I'm going to wrap my working yarn around, so I go from the back to the front, and then I'm going to reach into that same center hole, grab my working yarn, and see, you want it to be kind of right next to that stitch that you made. Pull a new loop up and through so that I have my 3 stitches, and then grab your working yarn, pull it through those first 2 strands, and then now these last 2 strands. So that was our next double crochet. So you can see we're slowly working this way. So I'm going to do another double crochet into the same place. So now I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. And since I have my first chain and then 1, 2, 3 double crochet stitches, I should be about halfway around that circle. So again, if you have this little loop sticking out, do not worry about it. That happens to me all the time. It's just from folding that chain on itself and that loop kind of sticks out wonky. So now we're going to do another one. And so the goal is that this lays down flat. So you don't want it to be pulling in on itself. You don't want your loops to be too tight where it's just like bunching your circle up on itself. You want it to be laying pretty flat like that. And oppositely, you don't want to have too big of loops here because then your project's just going to be really loosey-goosey and not have a lot of structure or design to it. So this is where we're starting to come around here. So I'm going to do my next double crochet. So see how we're moving there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 2 left. So remember, you always want to go in just next to that stitch that we just made. You don't want to go on top of it or overlap it, but we're going to go right next to it here. All right, and then we have one last double crochet, and this can maybe look a little confusing because you're gonna go on top of this chain just a little bit, and that's totally fine because our stitches are kind of like up here, so this part of the chain is actually part of this center circle, and then this is where it actually goes up into that stitch. So we're going to put our fingers through here, get ready for our double crochet, go right next to that last stitch and finish up our last double crochet. So here we have it, and obviously we have a gap here, but we're going to close that up now. So we're going to make sure that we have our 8 stitches. So this was our first chain, and then first double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now we're going to grab our scissors, and you don't really need too long of a tail. I'm just going to do a few inches, and then we're going to pull that tail up through so that it's sticking out of that last loop like this. And then we're going to attach it over here. So we have several loops going on. So how do you know which loop to go into? I know that it's going to be this one, but if you're new to this, it may not seem as obvious. So our goal, since we have 8 stitches, we want to have 8 of these loops around the circumference of the circle that we made. So we're going to count backwards. So we have this loop here. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to be making an 8th one with this tail. So this was the 7th one. So that's the one that I'm going to attach to. So I'm going to take this tail, go under both strands of that stitch, and then I'm going to gently pull this and then flatten it back out. And you want this to be about the same length as your other stitches. And then you're going to take the tail and come back around to where this yarn came out of. So this stitch right here. So we're actually going to go back into this loop and then also this stitch that's underneath, just because it will help mimic the look of the other stitches a little bit better. And so we're going to pull that snug so that it's about the same size. And then at this point, you might notice that your project kind of bends like this and folds, and that's totally fine and normal. If it's pulling in a lot more or is like really scrunched, then your loops might be too tight. But if it's just able to kind of bounce back and forth like that, that's totally normal. So this is what it should look like at this point. And then we're going to finish off the back here. So what I'm going to do is attach these 2 tails together. So kind of whatever makes sense. If you want, I have like this little extra strand here that I might go under, or you can go over. It honestly doesn't matter, but I'm going to tuck this tail under here and then trim both of these so that they're right next to each other, because I don't want to have a lot of extra yarn on the back. And then I'm going to take a lighter and attach these. So we're just going to light both ends and then gently press those together without burning ourselves. And then that's all done. Then we flip it over. So here we have our completed circle. And then this is what our completed square will look like when we're done with the sunflower granny square pattern. If you want the full written pattern, I sell a completed PDF on my website at staycozyco.com, and that includes the written pattern and then also links to my video tutorials and videos that show tips of working with chenille yarn, and also multiple projects for how to piece your squares together. One is right back here. My handbag, which was the first thing that I actually made with this square. And so that was the original tutorial that I offered. So I hope that this slower step-by-step tutorial was helpful, especially if you were struggling with this part of the project. If you have more questions, you can leave those in the comments, or always feel free to reach out to me by email. But if it's just like a quick question, the comments are really good because you probably aren't the only person with that question, and it allows me to answer it in a place where everyone can see it and have access to. So last thing is members of my channel. Thank you so much. I'm up to 9 members of my channel, which is really exciting. 9 people might not seem like a lot, but to think that there's 9 people out there who decided to financially support what I'm doing here on YouTube is really exciting. And you can become a member for as little as $1.99 a month. And so that's just supporting the content that I'm creating. and you can have access to polls. I've only done one poll so far, but my hope is to do more of that as the community grows, to see kind of what you're interested in, or things like this. If you need help with specific things, then you can ask those questions there. I did on my last pattern release have the video accessible to members first before it went live on my full channel. So that's something that I'm kind of playing around with to see if people are interested in that. And then you also get a 15% off code to use on my website when you're purchasing things from there. So little benefits for you guys as you support me, and hopefully this is a mutually beneficial space, and that we can support and encourage each other on our creative journeys. So again, I'm Jessica, and thank you so much for being here. And until next time, stay cozy, creative, and kind.